We, as Jason just mentioned, haven't really ever had a chance to talk to you guys in depth about your experiences making your own work. So we just wanted to take a minute and hear what you guys went through. We said it was a boot camp for creatives, and personally, I couldn't help but thinking about the experience that we went through making what we just saw.
Right, and we should let you know that all of the movies that you saw were inspired by the particular talents and personalities of the people you see here. We formulate the stories by meeting with them, figuring out what they do really well, and then that's where the inspiration for the story starts. They are every actor brings to the table something different. And when we start to figure out what that is, we figure out a way to make sure we're showcasing the actors themselves with wonderful support from the characters that we create, but hopefully not overshadowing the fact that what you're watching is the protagonist's point of view. And even when I would make things for myself, it was because I did not know what it was like to have the protagonist's story on my shoulders, as opposed to just like maybe a couple lines here and there when you're a supporting character. So we're going to get into that a little bit more in a moment, but to begin.
Yeah, first up, please give a hand to Vincent Ford, the star of In With Vinny. I turned off my mic. It is Vincent, by the way, not Vinny. Vincent, you had experience when we met producing your own work. Can you tell us a little bit about how was it different being the executive producer of a film that was made specifically for you?
Well, Jason introduced me to this thing called crowdfunding, which I'd never done before. And I was really nervous. You probably remember I was really nervous about it. I'm like, I hate asking people for money, and I was all that. But then people were just practically throwing money at me to get the production made. And we had a $5,000 budget, and about 120 people donate. We came over with over $6,000 for the budget. Right? So we could add all those special effects of just, the lasers and the spaceships and everything. So yeah, that was really an amazing experience to be able to do that. And my previous experiences producing films, I just did it all by myself, pretty much putting it on credit cards. But this was just, more people were involved regarding you guys. The guidance I had from you guys was just chef's kiss. I mean, I learned so much from this whole experience. It was really a positive and just fantastic experience. And I even got to work with people I knew. Vince Benvenuto, who played my brother, he and I had known each other for years in acting class. And, so it was great to actually bring someone on who I'd already known. Yeah. So.
Great, thank you. And the crowdfunding thing, it is sort of power, isn't it?
It is.
And it helps to solidify what the message of your film is, why you want to be a filmmaker when you're trying to share your story with people who you want to support you. It's a really important part these days of sort of modern producing, I think. Gives you autonomy over your project and your art as an actor, as a filmmaker, as a storyteller. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
That's great. So we're going to move on to Susan Jeffries, who starred in the indie series Searching for Sylvie. My dear Susan, can you tell us what surprised you most about making your own series from the ground up?
I was surprised pretty much every day. Answer in one sentence, but I'll do my best. I'm not wordy at all. Having worked on a lot of different projects over many years, and some of them, feature films, and television series, well-known ones, and commercials, I've always wondered about how it is these people who are really at a fairly high echelon in the business waste so much time and money. And I would sit in a trailer for 4 or 5 hours wondering why I wasn't being used in any capacity. And, and I'd see a lot of people who were employed standing around doing very little, and that always just upset me, so that by the time I was in front of the camera, I was a wreck. But anyway, that's a whole other story, and I won't go into it. The thing that really surprised me, and that I hoped for, was the efficiency of these two artists and businessmen, and you don't often have those two things combined in human beings. They're either one or the other, but these two are both of those things. And they really do partner with you. They really do see you, hear you, and it's a wonderful collaboration. And there is no time wasted at all. In fact, in most of the scenes in Sylvie, I had to go to the bathroom. That was just a joke. That was a joke. But I will say that the surprising thing to me is that there was no time wasted. And they say that they shoot it. What do you call that? The shooting, guerrilla shooting, guerrilla shooting. And there were no guerrillas, but it was really, you showed up. Everything was scheduled on time. You work through whatever things may come up during a shoot, you collaborate, and at the end of the day, you really do have something that you can be proud of. And that for me, I'm very proud of Sylvie. I think she's a cutie pie, and I wish I was more like her, actually. And I want to thank you publicly.
Thank you.
For the
Sylvie was a wonderful experience.
For the laser brilliance you bring to what you do. It's great.
Thank you so much.
Yes, that was a very kind response. I wanted to hear about, what it's like to be an actor taking the reins of your own career. This is something that actors are told all the time, but very few actually do. It's scary. It's hard. I remember the reason I met Jason was because he made his own show. He's with me. And I was lucky enough to be cast in that and work in it. And I got to watch Jason go through the process himself, and it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Worth it though.
But it's also worth it, and every one of our experiences working on all your projects were different and rewarding in their own ways. Susan, we were lucky enough to work with you over 11 episodes.
Yes.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. We should do the 12 now.
Yeah. And since we're talking about searching for Sylvie, the fun fact that we'd like to share is that the show was nominated for 4 Indie Series Awards, including Best Comedy and Best Leading Actress in a Comedy. And it won Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy for David Levine, the administrator. And I hope you have a chance to go and check out some of the other episodes. You'll see why he won that award. Very funny. Our friends are very talented, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. True. You have to have some sort of talent to begin with. Next, we want to welcome Michael Palladini, who is the lead of Bad for Good. Michael, we're beyond impressed with what you've done with submitting Bad for Good to festivals, and it has won awards and festivals all over the world. Can you tell us, what has the festival circuit experience been like for you as an actor-creator?
Well, first of all, thanks, Jason. Submitting the film is, I will admit, it's a bit of it's part ego, because you want as many people to see it as possible. And this was being the first product I worked for myself, thanks again to Jason and John, who were absolutely phenomenal. Just getting it out there and just saying, here world, here's what I've done. And just to get any type of response. And the film has done very well over the last, I think, year and a half that's been submitted. And there was actually one place in Hamburg, of all places. I saw that on the listing at a site called filmfreeway.com, which is where you make your submissions. And on there, it's shown that it won an award. So I figured, okay, good. I look it up on the website, and I just printed it out again, and then I looked at the list. It wasn't just one, it was 3. I actually did a double take. Really? So, in fact, you saw it on the, say, oh, by the way, in furtherance, like after further review, here's what else came in. So, it was a surprise to us, but that's just one place. I mean, just being recognized, even just as a selection into the festivals is an achievement. Because of course you're going to get those that say thanks, but no thanks. And I will throw this out there. I have submitted twice to the Las Vegas Indie Film Festival, and both times were turned down.
This offers you the opportunity to network with other storytellers and producers and directors and writers in a way that you can't necessarily do when you just have a reel. And I've seen Mike at film festivals doing Q&As like this and getting to get his message out there about the film or get his face seen a little bit more. It's tough to be an actor. And what we really take pride in is that we offer this unique experience for actors, and then it lives forever. It's a film that you can be hopefully proud of as you age it into the business, and it's something you can still submit and you can still share, even if it's just for friends and family and supporters. But on the other end, it can also be for agents and managers and consultants and people like that. Anyone you want to show what you can do as an actor in a lead character. So kudos to you, Mike, for continuing to get your work out there and continuing to widen your network. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're really proud of Mike and how much he's hustled, how hard he's been working submitting these films. I mean, we're not doing that for him. He's taking his film out and submitting it and meeting people and just driving his career forward. I mean, again, he's saying that he's hearing a lot of no's. Well, that's a very common experience for anybody in any creative endeavor, but for actors, it's just, you have to be used to hearing no. You hear it all the time. And what you guys are doing is kind of short-circuiting that process. You're not waiting for anybody to say yes or no. You're just doing it yourself. And not only are you learning so much that will help you as an actor, you know, in your career on set, the whole process of making something yourself is so educational, but the process of taking that work and getting it out into the world is its own educational experience. So yeah, we're really proud of you, Mike, for how you've taken this and run with it.
Thank you.
So last but not least, please give a hand to Hannah Williams, the star of the Bestie.
Hannah had originally worked with us behind the scenes on Sylvie, but stepped fully into the spotlight with the Bestie. So Hannah, what was it like to carry the story as the lead, being in almost every frame and driving the narrative forward and exploring the full arc of a character?
It was a lot of responsibility. I definitely felt the pressure sometimes because I think, you know, as being the lead, you want to do justice to the story that you beautifully wrote, Jason, and I think you also want to do justice to yourself as an actor, and I think in this unique experience, kind of also spearheading it creatively, you really want to do justice to yourself because you say, hey, I want to take this opportunity. And so yeah, I think you really just kind of try and not let the pressure get to you and try to enjoy the moments while also like really discovering yourself as an actor. I learned a lot, I think, about my process of like what works for me, what didn't work, what I need to continue to grow as an actor. So I think this was a fabulous experience to be able to kind of be a little duckling and get my feet wet and see
Good.
what
I'm so glad you took the plunge because it played really well, and I'm so glad it was a positive experience for you. You know, with these experiences of thrusting yourself into a leading character role, there is a lot of responsibility with that sometimes you can be in the middle of it and you're like, oh, what have I done? What am I doing? I certainly had that experience myself, and ended up kind of making me not want to act so much anymore. And but hopefully along in this experience you've all had, that maybe you discover some other things that you're good at in storytelling. We're a big proponent of trying to see what talents you have beyond just being the on-camera actor. There's a million jobs that exist within film and film production and television, and if you get your feet wet in one of them and say, like, you know what, I'm really good at producing, or I'm a good production assistant, I have this talent, so maybe your side hustle moves from waitressing to being a production assistant while you're waiting for a bigger break to happen for you. And that's something I'm really proud of with these projects as well, is that they offer all of our creators the opportunity to discover something new about their artistry that maybe has nothing to do with acting at all. Because Susan could become a wardrobe mistress right now, for how she monitored what she was wearing and when, and the continuity of all of it. And as harried as it could make you, it came out great. So anyway, I hope that maybe all of you discovered something that you didn't know about yourself as storytellers. John?
It's again, incredible to watch these people go. It was incredible to watch these people go through the process of making the projects for themselves, and it does feel, it's a moment of, real kind of pride right now to see all these pieces up on the big screen like this in a theater like this with an audience like this, after having gone through exactly the day-to-day experience of making it. But yeah, I think what an actor can learn from every step of this process is so valuable. Even if, like Jason said, what he learned was he didn't really want to be in front of the camera as much as he thought he did anymore, and he really was skilled at being a producer. I think that can be scary to a lot of people who are actors and think, well, why would I want that to happen to me? But in reality, it's, I think, such a gift that you can give to yourself. You say, oh, well, actually, I really am good at this other thing and like it. Or it could be something as simple as, I went and made my own work and I learned how to edit. And now people pay me to edit their stuff while I'm also pursuing my career as an actor. So there's just so many things, so many good things that can come out of it.
And I should say we're really grateful to these 4 people right here, because as much as they learned, John and I learned tenfold. I'm sure on each project they were so different. They offered us different challenges, and our storytelling ability hopefully gets better with each one. So thank you for allowing us to become better artists by hopefully helping you become better artists. It's a really unique synergy that we're proud of. And I'm so grateful to all of you. And I'm so grateful to Greg Wolf, who has helped us be here today at this beautiful theater.
Thanks, Greg.
And I'm so grateful to every single one of you in the audience for coming to support us and all of our creators here. Thank you so much.
So, we do have a little bit more time, and so if there's anybody out in the audience that has anything they'd like to ask or say, I can bring the microphone out. That was very fast. You were very good reflexes. I have a walkie-talkie that caught my chair. Let me come on up and...
I don't need a microphone.
You don't? You're loud? Okay, great.
I don't need a microphone. Vincent, you look just right, exactly where you're supposed to be. I can't wait to your next Q&A at another theater.
Oh, that's nice. Yes.
How much did the actors bring? How much did you bring? It seems like these characters were kind of made for them, but did they come with the ideas first, or did you give the ideas?
They, it's different. Each situation was different. Sometimes they came to us with ideas, but as perhaps more seasoned producers would say, that sounds like a really expensive idea.
That was remember we
Yeah,
were gonna do cops, we were gonna do.
Yeah, he wanted to do cops and mafias and
Like-
cars and things. I was like, do you have these things? Is this in your back pocket?
Budget would be like a
And
million.
then also, you know, sometimes they come to an idea, but Vincent's first idea, I thought to myself, you're gonna get lost in that idea. The point of this is to feature you and to show what you do best. So we tailored a story that was closer to his particular personality.
With less guns and car
Yeah,
chases.
a lot of fewer minutes, those things. But no, it really is sort of, you know, with Susan, I'd known Susan for years, and I know that she's such a capable actress, and she wanted to do something. She did come to me and say, I want to do something funny, and I'm tired of going on auditions where I end up, you know,
In a wheelchair.
in a wheelchair, the dying grandmother, or something like that. I want to do something I want to show a woman who's vital at a certain age. So, and if you watch Sylvie, by the end of that first season, you will see she's a very, very vital character with no wheelchair in sight. You know, Mike had an idea of a more comedic thing, but I just sensed that Mike was going to kill it as a more dramatic actor. And I thank Mike so much because that's the first sort of cop drama I've ever written in my life. And to get into that place was such a treat for me to be able to try, and I'm so proud of how it came out, and I think his work really speaks for itself. And then Hannah's idea came from her
Fundraiser.
the fundraiser. So we do work with actors to raise funds, and that usually means an online campaign in which you make a video to ask people for their support. We discovered during making her online video that she was a killer, like physical comedian. Like I would just have her fall out of shots, and she was just like, yeah, I'll do it again. And her timing was like impeccable. So that was the inspiration for, that combined with the fact that she said she always plays the best friend. So I was like, what if she's like this klutz, but she's made a dynasty out of it. And she's become like the Oprah of klutzy women. And then the whole best friend thing, I was like, what if she's got this best friend who still nags at her? It's the one thing she has not overcome. And that's where the inspiration of the story came from. But it all comes from their personalities. And maybe John and I are 2 cents of thinking with some of our clients, this is how we think you're most marketable right now. And we also try to make projects that they can grow into as well. So it is done completely in collaboration with them. All right, well, we have a wonderful reception waiting for you just outside the doors. Thanks again for coming to the inaugural Make Your Show Film Festival.
Thank you, everybody.